Alright, so Ion Paladin sent me in this replay. Uh, he wanted me to review it. He said it was a pretty interesting game. I already took a look through it, but we'll go ahead and do a deep dive on everything that goes on, and I'll try to explain what went right, what went wrong. Without further ado, let's look through it. Right off the bat, we have an interesting bit where we have 1 as fascist, with a blue, knowing that 5 is fascist and 6 is fascist. These are really good lines for fascist, in my opinion. Dropping a blue. Now, that's not advisable, in my opinion. I think that, as fascist, you can accept 1 blue on the board so that your team gets in, right? And then maybe 2 gets red, red, red. Maybe 2 6 comps. Maybe 6 is like, oh, I want a comp. That looks great, okay? If 6 conflicts, that looks good for you guys. You can play the second blue, and then you can take him on 1 4 or whatever. Conflict 4, then 5 looks fine. 5 might even get the SC. You never know. Like, there's lots of variations on why playing the first blue here is great. And even if 2 6 is blue, I still think I'd play the third blue in 5-1 and let 6 try to conflict 2 that way. Because generally speaking, at least when I play Hitler, once it gets to the third blue, that's when I start to think about playing reds as Hitler. And I start to think that 1-5 is probably lib as well. Which is great, because if you think that you're a fascist or lib, then you'll be in for a pleasant surprise when fascists actually win the game. So, not only does he drop the blue, but he claims it, and it is conflict. Paladin told me about this. He does not retract that conflict, which is very strange. So we have a fascist-fascist conflict that's usually death for fascism, because oftentimes what will wind up happening is a lib triangle will get into play one way or another and just play all the blues. So 2 picks 4, I think there's some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Logic for that. Not logic. There's reasoning. I can't think of the right word offhand, but there's a reason 2 goes 4. I'm not totally familiar with that meta, personally. And I don't really think it's all that bad, to be honest. I'm guessing it's because you can't go like 2-6. Well, no, I don't know why you can't go 2-6-3-7. It must be that you must be picking 4 because you think 1-5 conflicts so that 3 or 7 gets into Gov, right? And so you want to avoid that, but I don't like that reasoning personally, because at the end of the day, like, if 3-7 always has a fascist when 1-5 conflicts, surely that's information for liberals, right? And it's wrong in this case too, so it's like it's not even always correct to say that straight up. So anyway, 4 gets Inv, and Inv 6 fascist. So now you have to 9-7, 7-2 plays. I forget. Actually, hold on. So 2-4 was RRB. Yeah. So we have 2 blues down, 4 takes Inv in a 2 blue deck, so they don't look so good doing that. So 6 should look good. Unfortunately for fascists, 7 gets RBB, so that restores the blues that are missing, or the 1 blue that was missing. And then not only that, but I think, 2-3 gets RBB as well. So that's 2 forces in a row to make a 6 blue deck. Now 4 looks fine. I would say 5 looks better than 1, because it looks like 1 might have made up a blue. You don't usually expect for it to be a legit 6 blue deck that often. Technically, a 6 blue deck is supposed to happen 40% of the time. 50% of the time it's 5 blue, and then 10% of the time it's a 4 blue deck. So usually, you make reads off the fact that it's a 4 blue deck, and that sucks, because usually that's not the case. But when it comes to 6 blue decks, the reads are not anywhere near as strong, statistically speaking. So 3 gets red, red, red. That's unfortunate for liberals, because they should have gotten a blue. And then 2 picks 5, which I think is totally reasonable. And they yaw that. And here's the interesting bit. This is what Paladin told me to look out for. So Paladin plays the red on choice, and this is conflict. There was no discussion by two about taking gun ahead of time. And even if there was, this is not the time, like, there's just play a blue. If you're lib, there's no need to take a gun in this situation at all. Just play the 4th blue. You can top deck, repeat, and play the 5th blue. Like, there's no... Oh, and maybe 3 is even liberal and got legit red. But even if 3 is fascist and got 1 blue, you found a blue in 2-5, right? That means there's at least 1 left in 6. After you top deck, it'll be 1 in 5, and you have a 60% chance of drawing it. If you draw red, then you can think about who the shot is after that. But then it'll be veto zone. And usually I guess the shot would be 1 because you picked 5, I think. So, but yeah, the interesting bit here is that Paladin gives a red, right? So obviously that's conflict and you should just shoot 5. For whatever reason, 2 is persuaded to shoot 3. Now, I think the logic for this is simple, right? You see 4-6 is 1 conf, 1-5 is 1 conf. If 2 is practically conf lib and everyone's resigned to them, then 3-7 can become a pseudo conf, right? The only time that 3-7 is not a conflict is if there's a fascist conflict somewhere, which is the case in this game. So, because 7 forced and then 2 forced, I'm guessing that 2 was persuaded that 3 must be the fascist then. Because 7 would ditch, I think. Who knows? I have no idea. We'll go through the chats as well. Try to figure out how this came to be. Because obviously this should not have happened. Obviously 5 should just be shot. And unfortunately, I think you might play 1. Who would you play here? You might play X1. I don't know if you'd top deck. After you shoot 5, right, you can play any of 3, 4, 6 without top decking, or you can top deck to 2x in veto zone. But you need 2 blues, so you cannot just top deck to 2-1 in veto zone. You have to play something else. Maybe 1-2. You could top deck to 1-2 in veto zone and then 2x. Of course, that's wrong here because of fash conf. But that's kind of a normal-ish play that you might make. Otherwise, I mean, if you can figure out one of the other players, maybe you'll do something else. Give me a second. Okay, sorry. Something came up on Discord. I just need to attend to that. So, kind of paradoxically, after 2-5 is conflict, they decide to yaw 5. So 2 was completely sheeped by the fascists this game. It's really good of 6 to yaw 5, by the way. That's a really good play by 6. Yawing 5. I don't know if 6 got a read on 5 during the game or what, but of course they shoot 2 and then they yaw 6-5 in veto zone and win the game. Really well played. I love when fascists do this, by the way. Like, he's so confident that that this guy's a fascist that you're willing to pass the blue. That's great. Maybe you could even play the blue and then hail Hitler, that sort of thing. It's like, it's BN stuff. It doesn't actually, obviously you just play the red, you win the game. So let's take a look. I wanted to look specifically through Paladin's chat. So I actually had this set up. Let's go back to the very beginning of the game. Okay. Oh, I went all the way to the end. Whoops. 2 contributes to call it fake. Okay, so this is the beginning of the game right here. Paladin says call it fake. I'll allow it. I'm trying to see if there's anything from 1, but it doesn't look like it. For calling it fake. Getting requests and mod support cringe. Did 1 say anything at all in this time? It doesn't look like it. Paladin's begging 5 to retract his conflict. So 3 apparently yawed something weird. Let's check. I must have missed that. 3. I don't have any problem with everybody yawing 4. I don't have any problem with everyone yawing 4. Oh, 3 yaws 5. I didn't even see that. That's very strange. That must have been it. Okay, we'll just go back to chats now. Back to 3. Oh, I want to fake. What the fuck are you doing? 3. I can ignore them. Okay, so maybe 3 gets shot for that, actually. 6 blue. Musical 30. SE2. Hmm. 1-5 doesn't have Hitler. Haven't seen any crazy chat. Cringe. Paladin. You can't just say cringe when you conflict. I give gun pop on. I would insta shoot 5. And if they were liberal, I'd be like, mods, that person needs to be... We need to take a look at that. It's not game throwing, but... 5 gives gun for real. What 5? I think that's BS. Wow. 1 has been so quiet. Why would Hitler blind comp first gov? I want pop on 1. 134. I actually think it's 134. Pop 3 then for Hitty. I'm loving it, Paladin. It's not 134. Seven thoughts. Personally, I don't approve of this giving gun strat. That's not enough, CIA guy. You gotta say something. Paladin. Dude, I would shoot Paladin so hard in the face here. Yeah, Seven's only worried about dying himself. We gotta realize, like, when something like this has happened, you have to be screaming for 5 to be shot. There's no, like, world where 5 is liberal. So, yeah. Let's move on. I'll take 3v3 test 5-7. I don't understand. I mean, I would absolutely yaw 5 here if I was Hitler in seat 6. There's no way that 5 is liberal. I just wouldn't expect 1 to yaw. That's the thing. That's the thing that would throw me through a loop. I'd be like, oh, it's 156 at that point. Yeah, so GG. Well played by Paladin, I guess. Good job sheeping the lib. My advice to 2 is to make sure you shoot your conflicts. You know, especially when they give you gun, quote unquote. Alright. With that, I will leave it.